Thank you for plugging into this Family Life News podcast, streaming issues-driven, family-focused news.
Welcome to Family Life Hometowns, a chance to get to know the stories behind the cities, towns, villages, and burgs that make up the Family Life listening area. We'll take a look at their history and find out what makes them special. Today, we spotlight Franklin, Pennsylvania. Nestled alongside the confluence of French Creek and the Allegheny River about an hour's drive south of Erie, Franklin, named for founding father Benjamin Franklin, is richly steeped in American history. Marley Manning is with the Venango County Historical Society.
Our history takes off in the 1750s when the French settled here and built Fort Michaud, which was our French fort here. It was completed in 1754, and by 1756 the French were gone, burned their fort to the ground, and fled the invading British. And then years later, the British built a fort here called Fort Venango, and then they were here for a short period of time, and then in the 1790s we got Fort Franklin, which was used to just protect the people who were living here. It was around for a few short years, was gone by 1800. And then in the early 1800s, we got the old garrison, which worked as a jail.
If you were going to paint a picture of Franklin, Pennsylvania, it should be done in oils, because starting in the mid-1800s, oil smoothed the way for rapid growth.
Yes. Lo and behold, in August of 1859, Colonel Edwin Drake struck oil in Titusville. Titusville proper is in Crawford County, but Drake was just over the line into Venango County. That discovery prompted a massive explosion of people coming to the area to make their fortunes. And from that, we developed this wonderful, rich history here in what we call the Oil Valley.
Franklin's oil-rich tradition continued well into the 20th century, with a big presence there for companies such as Quaker State and Pennzoil. Big oil meant big money, and even when the U.S. petroleum industry started to focus its energies elsewhere, the evidence of Franklin's oil boom status remained, with grand Victorian architecture, much of which remains well preserved to this day.
The downtown is listed as a National Historic District because of the architecture. For the most part, the architecture is as you would have seen it in the late 1860s moving forward. There were some fires that have changed things, but ultimately, a lot of the buildings were built between the late 1860s and mid-1880s, and they've stayed the same.
Besides its picturesque historic homes and commercial buildings, 21st century Franklin, PA is known to many for its annual Autumn Apple Fest, taking place this year on October 7th, 8th, and 9th. Jody Lewis heads up the Franklin Area Chamber of Commerce.
It's the best 3 days in Venango County. We bring 300 crafters and food vendors to the area for the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We have entertainment. All the local downtown gets to show off everything. We expect between 80 and 100,000 people every year over the 3-day period.
That's a pretty hefty crowd for a small town.
It is a hefty crowd. It's lovely.
What are the things about it that really draw people in, do you think?
I think it's the hometown feel. People come for the vendors because they have their favorites. They have a pottery vendor, a crafter that they like, or a quilter. They have their favorite food they come back for. The local Rotary Club sells apple butter, so people come back to get their supply for the next year of apple butter and all the good fall food, bushels of apples, the sort of fall crops that are available right now. But it's a reunion between friends and family. And for us, we've made friends with so many of the vendors that it's a sort of family reunion for all of us as well. They come only once or twice a year, so they come eat their favorite in the restaurants downtown and visit their favorite stores, and it's a good weekend.
But even when the apples aren't in season, Lewis says historic Franklin offers something for everyone.
If you're a foodie, you're going to come and find some good food and beverages. If you're an outdoor person, we have all kinds of trails. If you're a history buff, there's all kinds of history to be looked at and read about and to be seen here, because we still have a lot of our homes and downtown business buildings, and we have all kinds of monuments that explain so much of that. And if you're just looking to get away, we have a big city feel, but we are very rural America here. It's a great place to come and spend the day or the weekend. We have a county park. We have mountain bike trails, kayak and canoe trails, bicycle trails. We have literally something for everyone here.
And that's Franklin, Pennsylvania. Thank you for listening, and please join us again next time. Maybe we'll feature your town on Family Life Hometowns.